everybody and welcome back to the Blossom Crochet channel. Now in this tutorial I will be showing you this wonderful stitch which is perfect for making a really beautiful autumnal or winter scarf, but obviously you can also use it for blankets or literally absolutely anything you like. Now unfortunately I didn't get to the point where I wanted to with my sample. I did want to have a full-size scarf in this beautiful yarn ready to go. However, if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I was at the hospital the other day with a finger injury and they'd done a huge big bandage thing on my finger. However, I really wanted to get this stitch tutorial out, so I've swapped it for the smallest plaster thing that I can just for the next hour while I film this video, and then I will have to go back and have it and redress my finger with the supplies that they've given me. Anyway. So this is a beautiful type of weave stitch. It's completely reversible. You can see that beautiful texture that you will get. As you can see, I've started it in the perfect width for making a beautiful scarf. So once I have been able to work more on this and turn it into a scarf, I will do a really quick video to show you how that looks once it's done. I'm using some lovely Pebble Haze yarn for this one, so I'm currently in the golds and greens, and I'm looking forward to getting to those purples and blues and pinks as well later down the line. So it's a 1 row repeat. It's really simple, and we're just going to jump in now with the tutorial. So I'm just using some lovely Shapeys stone washed for the tutorial. So we're going to start off with our foundation chain, and you want to do this in an even number, so a multiple of 2 until it is the width that you want your project to be. But at this point I will say that whatever yarn you choose for this pattern, especially if you're making a scarf, definitely go up a full hook size, okay? Because it's quite a really close texture, so you really want, if you want that lovely sort of drape for a scarf, then you'll need to go up a full hook size. So for example, the sample that I showed you a moment ago, I'm using a 5mm hook, and I did a starting chain of 30. So yarn over, pull through, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you just complete your foundation chain in an even number. Okay, so obviously I'm just making a small sample piece to show you. So now that we've got our foundation chain, we're going to work back along, and in this first row we're just going to do a row of UK trebles, or obviously because I work in UK terms, if you're in the US these will be a row of your double crochet. So yarn over, and then into that third chain you'll insert your hook, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's a UK treble or US double, and you're just going to put 1 UK treble into every single stitch, well, every single chain I should say, all the way along. Now this stitch that we're working is just a variation of a tutorial that is already on my channel from a good few years ago now, but it is such a beautiful stitch that I wanted to make it slightly different so that there was more drape, it was a little bit softer, and there was slightly more gaps, because the original video it was literally called the tight weave stitch, or the rice stitch it is also called, and I made a pillowcase with that, so I wanted it to be really tight and dense. I didn't want any gaps or anything, but then I thought that the look of it would be so beautiful for a scarf but a little bit stiff, so that is why I've decided to do it this way. So you will work your trebles all the way to the end, and then I will meet you there in a second. So once you get to the end, you're going to turn your work around. And then at this point, you can start your row however you like. If you want to chain 2, that's absolutely fine. However, I don't like the gaps that I get with when I do my chain 2s or chain 3s. So I'm going to turn my work as I have done, and then I'm going to insert my hook straight into that very first stitch just here, and I'm going to go through the whole of that stitch, yarn over and pull up, and then yarn over, pull through both, and then go behind the left post of that stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over and pull through both, and that gives us a treble height stitch but with no gapping, and that's been my preferred way to start rows for ages now, and I really like it. So at this point now we're going to be switching to post stitches. So we're going to be alternating front post and back post stitches, and we're going to be doing UK double trebles, or in the US these will just be your trebles. So it's where we yarn over twice, okay? So this very first stitch, obviously we've worked into already. So our next stitch, which will be our first post stitch, will be the second one here. And to do a front post double treble, you'll yarn over 2 times, and then you can see we've got spaces either side of this treble. You're going to go around the back of that treble and out the other side, and then yarn over and pull up, and you'll have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've done there a front post double treble. So now around the next treble, you're going to do a back post double treble. So yarn over twice again, and you're going to go from back to front this time. So you'll put your hook around the back of your work, come up next to that treble that we want to work, and then go out the other side, and then yarn over and pull up, and you'll complete as normal. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so we've got a front and then a back post. So I'll show you each of those stitches one more time. So yarn over twice, we're swapping back to a front post this time. So from front to back and around the back of that treble, yarn over and pull up, and complete by yarning over 2 each time. Okay, so again, back post treble, this double treble, sorry. So yarn over twice, always pull your work apart slightly so that you don't miss any stitches, and you can see we're going to go from back to front for the back post. So yarn over twice, go around the back, and then come through to the front, and then back out, pushing that stitch backwards, and yarn over and pull up, and complete. And you'll continue alternating those all the way along until you get towards the end, which is where I'll meet you in just a second. So as we get towards the end, you should be finishing with a front post treble around that last proper stitch that we've got. And then the other ones here are just chain stitches. So you'll finish with your front post treble around that very last stitch. And then into the top of those chains that we missed at the beginning of the foundation chain, you will put a UK treble or US double, because we don't want to do double trebles at the ends of the rows or the beginnings of the rows, because you would end up with uneven sides. So you want to start and finish with treble height stitches. So that is how you should be looking at the moment. It won't look like much until you've worked up quite a few rows, but I will show you the next row now, which is the one row that you will repeat over and over again. So again, turn your work, start your row however you like, either with your chain or by doing what I do, which is to insert my hook straight into that first stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both, behind the left post, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both. I'm sorry that the camera just wiggled, but I've got a little helper sitting underneath being the absolute opposite of helpful. Yeah, she's not for moving, so I apologise if that ends badly for any of us. Okay, so the first stitch that we will be doing is a front post treble, and it will always start with a front post treble. And we're going to be doing the opposites of what we've got. So you can see here that our first stitch points backwards, and then the next stitch comes forwards, and then the other one backwards, forwards, and so on. So that first stitch that we do is always going to be a front post treble. So yarn over twice, and around this very first stitch, which is sitting more to the back, you will do your front post double treble. And then again you will switch to your back post, so around the back and through, And then again, your next one will be a back post one from the previous row. So we will be doing the front post one around there. And again, you will alternate all the way along. It's quite easy to recognise if you've gone wrong somewhere, because you'll start doing front posts around ones that are already front posts, if that makes sense. So it is quite easy to keep track of if you've gone a little bit wrong somewhere. And again, you will alternate them all the way along. Okay, so I've reached pretty much the other end now, and just like before, you should always be finishing with a front post stitch around that very last normal stitch of the row below. And then into the top of that little turning stitch that we did, you will do a UK treble or US double, always through the whole of that stitch. And that will just keep your edges nice and straight and even. So that is the row that you'll repeat over and over again. You can see we are starting to build that beautiful woven texture, but you will repeat that row as many times as you like until you have completed whatever size project you want to. Obviously, if you are doing a scarf, you can leave it flat and add some fringe or tassels, or you can join your ends together to make a looped infinity scarf. I will put that as a poll on my channel once I've completed this scarf to see whether we think infinity or fringe, and then I can show you the finished piece. But that is it for this step by step. I really hope that you have enjoyed it and that the plaster wasn't too distracting for anybody, and I will see you for another tutorial really soon. But thanks as always for watching, and bye for now.